all I know how to be is be a woman. That's all I know how to be. Um, and I do know, understand, and completely agree with the stats and the truth that just most of our households are women raising their children by themselves. Um, I don't know if it's all just slavery still affecting us, or if some of it is the choices that we making today. And why we making the choices that we make today, um, I don't know that either. But I know that every day we get a new chance to make a new choice, and looks like we making some of the same choices over and over. So I think that we have to take responsibility, and as important again as history is, completely important, and it's there for our learning.
Well, I'd like to begin my conversation about the emasculation and why the black man's broken in, going back to Egypt. If you look at the black man is the first man in the world who drew a picture of a woman sitting beside him, not beneath him, not above him, but beside him. I think that what has happened in the black community, for me, in my opinion, is that because we have a culture in which black men honor and understand the feminine energy of God that resonates in the woman, knowing that only the Messiah can come through a virtuous womb. The reason why we see the numbers is because it's the numbers of black men who are getting tired of being the sacrificial lamb and don't know their purpose for and how to treat, or what the purpose is for the black woman. We don't believe that we've lost the purpose of how we're going to fight this war. And what you're seeing with the high numbers in the prison systems and the emasculations, these modern day emasculations, these are the men who have no purpose. You really, really look at why white people, or if you want to say white people or the system or the patriarchal society, does not like the black man. Like I said, I take it back to Egypt. You were the first man on the planet that gave women on the side. And everything about his culture totally despises that.
Then you side yourself. So I really think the sister was on point in terms of talking about the fact that African people have always known that we are a duality. These are phenomenons that came about as a result, again, around self-hatred, because just 40, 50 years ago, when we were segregated and we did not have integration, there was not any room for us to demonstrate that self-hatred in the sense of consumerism. When I was talking earlier about loving ourselves and appreciating ourselves and knowing who we are, that has everything to do with how we spend our money. We wouldn't be the big consumers if we really loved ourselves. We would not, feel the need to buy a sense of humanity if we really loved ourselves. And so the whole emasculation of our men, the prison industrial complex that just came about in the recent years because of integration, because when we stopped spending money in our own communities, we used to be able to employ our own people.
I believe the whole intent and the creation of the independent female was for to maintain the lucrative slave trade. Once the strong black male was pretty much emasculated, beaten down, the slave maker know that he would have the black woman eating out of his hand, meaning that she would be dependent on him, dependent on the welfare system. It's definitely not our nature, and history is very, very important, and this is the very reason for putting on this panel to show that along the lines of the parameters, quote unquote, of the Willie Lynch letter, that this was actually documented. Somebody actually sat back and studied our nature to show us that we get rid of the head, we'll have the woman, and the woman will teach the nation. Because when you teach a woman, you educate a nation. When you teach a man, you teach him himself. But when you teach a woman, you educate a nation. So once that woman was in the hands of the slave maker, he knew that she would pass that inferiority, that that dependency state onto her family as long as she could, and as long as she didn't get into knowledge, because the only way you're going to know who you are and know who your purpose and know what your purpose is that you have to know the knowledge and the history of who you are, your people, yourself, your God.
Well, I don't think the slave master created an independent female. That would go against everything he believes in a patriarchal society. I think what you see with the independent, and that's a label that media gave us, as far a successful, well-educated, hard-working female is good. And I don't see how, because I'm in a PhD program and I drive a car and I work and I do the things that I need to do in a racist, oppressive society against black people, that I'm somehow leaving my black man behind. I don't see that. I don't see the fact that a woman who's on welfare, I don't see how she's independent. And I don't see how saying that just because women go on welfare, that somehow or another this man has pitted us against one another.
INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? I don't know. I love all you ladies dearly. Trust me. Black woman holds the key. Trust me. I don't know where y'all been. I see the circles we run in now, but these children don't have a God. God is the music being owned by the Jews that are continuing what has been done for a very long time. So the circles I run in, I don't get any of this from the women. I'm in the slums, in the ghettos where it's needed at, because those are not sick or not in need of a physician. It's simple. The masses do have a problem. The masses are creating independent females. If we have gotten to the point to where y'all ladies on the panel realize that, you know, y'all not that way, this or that, I'm coming from a whole nother different perspective and let you know that there are a whole bunch of independent females walking around here with a ghetto hood, no knowledge mentality. And it's killing us. Some men get fired and don't even tell their wife for a week. They scared. Y'all done seen some of the brothers. Scared to go home and tell their wife. They're going to have a problem. So the independent female has been created. It may not be in this circle, but where I'm at, where I reside, because I don't want to be one to leave any behind. I have to go back to where I came from, and I came from being a pimp and a drug dealer. So ain't nobody on this panel finna be around no pimps and no drug dealers, I don't think. We done moved on a whole nother different class scale now.
Excuse me. You was mad. Well, Andrea just told a lot of stuff because she said we talked earlier. You know, one thing I was just sitting here thinking about, just with the whole question from the beginning, is the independent woman. I'm never independent. You look at me and you think I'm independent because you see me as the businesswoman and doing this and doing that, and you think that I'm never independent.
When we reconvene, our good brother Yakanan gonna spit some one of his pieces for us.
Psalms 83 verse 4 says, "Come, let us cut off the chosen people from being a nation, so their name would no longer be remembered. Negroes, colored, blacks, African Americans, who are we again? I can't even remember. In a state of confusion in a foreign land and lied to about our identity and true rich African inherited stolen, whitewashed their faces, then handed us back a watered down version of history. Then we got the nerve to turn and give credit to these same institutions where Eurocentric is mandatory and African studies is an elective educational system. Turn the bucks and winches loose with no contingency plan and start throwing up prisons. Along with the violent rape of a culture would assure a psychotic maze of us constantly wandering in derision, trying to recapture the essence of our original mind state in this unprecedented condition. The captive mind has been so devastated to describe our calamities in this circle of atrocities with words, there's no place to begin. So if Pitcher spoke 1,000 words, imagine a 15-year-old on the block with crack in his mouth as a stash spot positive for HIV and sagging. Weeping over Jerusalem, somebody need to be weeping over Houston. Now, do you really know thyself? Because our babies reflect our inner hatred for one another from just a simple dog test. Men already void of love, helped by clever propaganda to be portrayed as emotionless and savage. Young brothers don't help the image, wearing felonies like stripes, and that the prison system has become a rite of passage. Taught Roman purgatory, but hell for the black male is when your worst fear becomes your reality. Steady signing petitions for police brutality, politicians telling us to remain calm. Giving the ghetto babies just a little lingo while running the same game, just in a slicker tongue. Multi-billion-dollar corporation called the penal system being traded on the stock market, so laws are targeted specifically. Booby-trap dope game glamorized by a rapper with calculated false fame, and it's the brother in the hood that falls victim. Trapped in a jail cell crying out to his God, wondering how he got in this position, with any thoughts of anger quickly being captured by thick concrete walls and brought back calmly under submission. Hustling blindly, not realizing all the pain he had caused to others, until he got his first visit and saw a teardrop roll down the cheek of his mother. So how can I stand here today and say with a straight face, America, the beautiful home of the free and God bless? In a country where if I want some respect, I have to organize a protest. The riots of the 60s only produced lies of equality, because here we are still in this mess. A situation so desperate that many great men have came and laid down their life trying to help, even to their last breath, with limited success. They can only be compared to a reflection in the mirror when you walk away or dead and gone, the eloquent speaker's message left. Bereaved children left behind can't be comforted because they miss their daddy and they don't want nobody else. We hypocritically watch the real prophets die poor and call the current Pharisees who turned religion into a business blessed. Loved ones fearing for my life, telling me with the way that I'm spitting, I better watch myself. I reply with a deranged chuckle, telling them my past fear on the way here, and I'ma spit the truth to my death. Dead bodies equal war. I'm for peace, but when I speak, my enemies know my words are swords, able to awaken the nation with divine revelation. If the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, you are the kingdom, so I'm just here to shake you. To keep doing the same thing, thinking we're going to get different results is the definition of insanity, and we must be insane, because this is insanity to keep praying to this same white. Trying to get some brothers to wake up out of a deep sleep is vanity. Targeting the remnant because the majority have no understanding. Been lied to so long that the truth sounds outlandish. Praying for prosperity, but on the real just trying to manage. Everybody pointing fingers, not really knowing who to blame. Holy nation laying in the bed with foreign gods like a prostitute, not even ashamed. And just like Joseph, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Kunta Kinte, they done changed y'all name. Self-education is liberation for me. I understand that I am my brother's keeper, and everything that affects my brother, like Trayvon Martin, also affects me. We must get back to a culture, sisters, that means loving your natural hair and your skin color. Your own actions will judge your way, like the stubborn generation in the wilderness that just passed away. If lawless grown folks won't take heed, remember the life rests in the precious seed. If you're blessed with the spirit of understanding, please heal your own soul so these disgusting petrifying wounds of ours won't continue to bleed. And brothers, we must protect the foundation of all civilization in that beautiful black queen.